Today we're cooking with some very special lentils from France called lentils de Puy, or as they say, lentilles de Puy. Now, in order for them to be labeled as such, they have to be grown in Le Puy-en-Velay, which is a town in southern central France. Gorgeous there, I've heard. Like to go there myself. But the lentils are worth seeking out no matter where you are because they're a little bit creamy. They've got a beautiful mineral flavor to them. And Ashley's here, and she's going to show us how to cook them.
These lentils, Bridget, are the caviar of lentils. So,
nice.
I know. As you can imagine, they are definitely a little bit more on the expensive side, only if you compare them to your regular green, yellow, or brown lentils. But it's worth every penny because they get super silky in texture when they're cooked.
Yes.
Yet they maintain that round shape. So.
All right. They're becoming more well-known here, too. So they're becoming easier to find.
Which is great.
Yeah, it sure is.
So I'm going to start, just like in France, with a mirepoix. All right, so for finely chopping, I'm just going to hold my hand flat on the top of the onion. And I'm going to make my horizontal cuts. And then I'm going to make some smaller vertical cuts here.
All right, so you're making a pretty small chop there.
I'm finely chopping it because the lentils are so beautiful and small, and I want everything to cook at the same rate and be beautiful to look at, so nice and small and uniform in size. We're going to need about a half a cup of the finely chopped onion. Just going to square off the tips. So this is peeled, and I'm just going to slice it in half. So I'm just going to cut this into, I'd say, thirds, and then run my knife this way.
Lovely.
That's a quarter cup of the finely chopped carrots.
All right, so a half cup of the onion,
Yep.
quarter cup of carrots. Got it.
And then again, we're gonna do a quarter cup of celery. So you'll notice I'm just cutting these into about 4 to 5 inch pieces. And that's just because it's enough length for me to be able to control my knife and cut them into finely chopped pieces.
Lovely.
Yep. The oil is shimmering now. I always know it's shimmering when I see just the ripples forming on the outer part of the pan.
Yes, a little spider webby.
I like that. I'm just gonna add our vegetables, our mirepoix. Here I have a half a teaspoon of some salt. And I'm just gonna cook this over the medium heat for about 5 minutes. And what I'm looking for is just for the vegetables to become softened.
Okay.
And the salt there is gonna help not only for seasoning, of course, but it's also gonna help to draw out some of that moisture from the onions especially, and that's gonna help to kind of get them to soften as well. I'd say these vegetables look good and softened.
Beautifully softened.
And it's almost time to add the lentils. But I did just want to mention that it's important to rinse your lentils before you cook with them. And also just take a good look through lentils just to make sure that there aren't any stones hanging out in there or some debris.
Okay.
All right, so this is 1 cup of lentils. And then I'm going to add some chicken broth. This is 2 cups. You could, of course, use vegetable broth here. All right, so I'm going to bring this to a simmer. All right, we're at a simmer now. I'm just gonna cover the pan. I'm gonna reduce the heat to medium-low and cook these for about 30 minutes. What I'm gonna be looking for at that stage is just for the lentils to be tender, but I want them to still be holding on to their shape. Now, if you notice at that time that the saucepan is getting a little dry, you can add a little bit more liquid. Just make sure it's a quarter cup of hot liquid, but just don't add too much, just do a little bit at a time. Let's take a look at the lentils. Again, they've been going for about 30 minutes.
How lovely.
Like caviar.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to take a little taste just to make sure they're tender.
That is the best way? Yep.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, not done yet. 2 finishing touches. I've got 2 ounces, which is also 2 cups of baby spinach. And finally, I have some Dijon mustard. It's 2 tablespoons. And this is one of those unsung hero ingredients in this specific recipe because it really does add some creaminess and it adds a ton of acidity and a good punch, but it's not going to hit you over the head when you're eating this.
I love this idea because if you think about things like beans, legumes, pulses, like lentils here, anything that you're cooking for a while, it's always nice to add a little bit of a bright note at the end. Yep, so mustard will do that.
And then I'm going to cover it one more time and let this sit off heat for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Let's see. Beautiful.
Lovely.
5 minutes was all that spinach needed. That looks delicious. I'm so excited for you to try these lentils.
You know, there's just enough starch in the lentils too to kind of make it a nice creamy brothy base there.
Definitely.
And the mustard as well.
Bridget, let me serve you. Yum, yum. This is one of those recipes that is definitely hearty.
Yes.
Final touch is a little creme fraiche. Super luxurious.
Beautiful. So another tangy, bright note at the end.
Exactly, and just going to add a lovely creaminess in here.
gorgeous.
And if you can't find creme fraiche, sour cream works perfectly as well.
Okay. Well, if your market's got lentils depuis,
It has
I'm
creme
pretty sure it's got creme fraiche. This looks absolutely beautiful. I love meals like this. They are like no other lentil out there. They really are. Beautiful, creamy texture.
Silky.
It's really, really silky, buttery almost.
If you're ready to take your cooking to the next level, try our digital all-access membership, where you can stream every season of Cook's Country anytime. Scan the QR code or head over to cookscountry.com to sign up for a free trial.
And let's make something great together.